For Cuse Countdown, Bill Spaulding here with Dan Cohen and Ben Fontana, getting you set for Syracuse and Monmouth on Saturday evening inside the Carrier Dome. The 7-0 Orange and Monmouth out of the Northeast Conference coming in off a loss to Navy. Let's run the fast break to break down this matchup, and let's start with, guys, I'll dish out some topics to you. You say dunk if you agree, dish it if you don't. First off, Michael Carter-Williams, who's been close to a triple-double a few times this season, he will get a triple-double against Monmouth.
Going to have to dunk that one, Bill. Michael Carter-Williams has come very close to getting that triple-double over the last few games, and Monmouth has a pretty small lineup, and Carter-Williams with that 6'6 frame and that really long wingspan, he's going to get his fair share of rebounds. We know he's going to dish it out to his teammates. So I'm going to dunk this one because we've been waiting for MCW to get that triple-double, and I think the Hawks are going to present that opportunity to him on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been sniffing it out all season, really close against Arkansas, had 10 rebounds. Before in the non-conference against Eastern Michigan, had 11 assists. So you know the guy can do it. You talk about that wingspan, talk about that height. He's a tall point guard for his position. He's definitely going to get it against an undersized Monmouth lineup, and why not? It's more practice for him going to the Big East.
Well, he was asked after the Long Beach State game on Thursday night if one of those was on the horizon. He said he thought he had a good chance that it could come sooner or later this season, and you gotta think, he's been so close a couple times, sooner or later he's going to get that triple-double. We'll see if it happens against Monmouth. Now, on the other side, the Orange has yet to have two rebounders in double digits. They did have 13 rebounds from C.J. Fair on Thursday night against Long Beach State. Against a smaller Monmouth team, do they get two players with at least 10 rebounds?
I got to say, yes, dunk it. I mean, look at Dajuan Coleman, Rakeem Christmas have been all over the boards lately, throwing a Jerami Grant off the bench or even a Baikita. These guys can definitely do it. Look at a matchup that Monmouth had earlier this year against Notre Dame, a team very similar to Syracuse in the Big East who has height. Jack Cooley had 9 rebounds, and then 2 guys off the bench had 8 and 7 rebounds as well. So again, that's that length and height against an undersized lineup. I say SU definitely does it. Who? I don't know, but they're going to get 2 guys who get 10.
We're going to be 2 for 2 today, Ben. I'm going to dunk this one too. Syracuse has that size underneath in the 2-3 zone, and they also have Baikita underneath. You could be another one who could get more than 10 rebounds in this game against Monmouth. An undersized lineup, like we said, for the Hawks, and Christmas and Coleman have really provided that size and that girth underneath that Syracuse has. Coleman's been really good underneath for Syracuse, and we've seen Christmas get active too on the offensive and defensive end. They can get a lot of offensive rebounds off missed threes that we've seen Syracuse take over the last few games. So I'm going to say dunk it. 2 double-digit rebounders for Syracuse against Monmouth.
No defense today on the fast break. No. 4 slam dunks from our analysts, Dan and Ben. Now, moving even further into this game, the matchup 7 p.m. Saturday night. Who's going to be an X factor for Syracuse in this one?
Well, I just hit on it. I think Rakeem Christmas is going to be a big contributor for Syracuse. We saw C.J. Fair at the 3 spot provide a real big spark for Syracuse on the offensive and defensive end with that big double-double. I'm still waiting for Christmas to have that big breakout game. He's been real strong at the power forward position, and I think he's going to do a great job getting down low on the blocks and posting up against a smaller Monmouth lineup in defense. So I like Christmas to be a big spark for Syracuse on offense and on defense, crashing glass.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Christmas being one of the guys who really improved his fundamentals over the last year from his freshman year to his sophomore campaign. Much more sound fundamentally on that end. But I'm going to have to say Jerami Grant is my X factor. He's another guy who's fundamental already as a freshman. You saw him have a big game against Eastern Michigan, put up 11 points. So I think, in general, this guy's breaking out. And if he comes off the bench, is a spark like Cooney was on Thursday against Long Beach State, then he's going to have a huge impact. He's just got to have that energy coming off the bench.
Grant's done a really nice job the last couple of games after only playing 1 minute against Arkansas. Double figures against Eastern Michigan and some more highlight reel plays against Long Beach State on Thursday night. So we've talked about some of the keys to this game. Prediction time. Any chance at all that Monmouth can shock Syracuse?
Well, the fact that they're not going to have their head coach, King Rice, on the bench, that's going to be an even bigger hurdle for them to jump. I don't like Monmouth in this game. I think Syracuse is going to keep rolling through the non-conference. 86-60, Syracuse breaks into the 80-point mark again and gets Jim Boeheim one step closer to 900 wins. This will be his 898th win against Monmouth.
Yeah, I'm going to say SU wins this one as well. I mean, it's pretty obvious here they're going to stay undefeated in the non-conference for a while now until they run into a hurdle, maybe come the Big East schedule, but I'm going to say 90-67 SU wins this one. Talk about no King Rice. Rick Callahan is going to be the coach for Monmouth interim. He used to coach under Jim Boeheim way back when, so it should be a little interesting, a little generic there right there.
Well, speaking of Coach Boeheim, Ben, you better hope that he didn't hear what you just said, that Syracuse should cruise through the non-conference slate, because according to him, it should be tougher sledding throughout the non-conference portion. Syracuse Monmouth playing Saturday night, 7 o'clock inside the Carrier Dome. Be sure to check back at the sports blog, citrustv.net, for coverage post-game. For Ben and Dan, I'm Bill, signing off.